this is probably one of the hardest videos that I've ever had to make. I have thought about this script for so long. It has been through countless iterations and I am still not happy with how it is. So I've kind of resorted to just hitting record and seeing what comes out of this. The Last of Us Part 2 is a story that I think over time has really grown on me. Over the years since it's come out, the sort of initial shock reaction has cooled down over time, and I believe that, more level-headed opinions have been formed. I feel like this year has sort of added so much more context and relatability to what, I guess, Part 2 was trying to tell. What I mean by that is that, the past year it's been a shit show. Like, I'm in a very privileged position, and I am very grateful for that no one I know has been gravely affected by anything, but there still comes a time where everything sort of gets to you, and I feel like that point has sort of crystallized, I guess, with trying to make this video. Having to get out of bed every morning only to walk maybe 2 steps to my desk, to be in the same space that I work and have leisure and socialize, everything from an arm's length away from my bed, having this sort of endless repeat of wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat, all sort of condensed into one area, to one bedroom, to one point. It's something that I don't actively think about often, but it's here where I come to realize that the whole sort of thing, this whole lifestyle is one big cycle. And this cycle is extremely hard to get out of. It's something that is sort of snowballing into something bigger than itself. It's extremely hard to break out of that and feel like every day is different, every day is new, every day has some sort of other purpose. And I feel like The Last of Us Part 2 sort of embodies that message. It's a story about cycles in a way that's obviously inflated and exaggerated to be a AAA title, a 3D survival game, obviously, but the whole notion of being trapped within a cycle that is bigger than yourself, that's sort of driving you aimlessly or, I guess, against your best wishes, is really where I relate to this whole thing. This sort of idea that Ellie, being so transfixed by the idea that Joel's death was her fault, and that all the years she sort of wasted without really utilizing his time left on Earth was kind of the catalyst for her story of revenge. And it all stems from not a place of love, not a place of anger, but of guilt. And it's sort of that guilt that is inevitably driving her and propelling her and essentially locking her into this cycle of violence. This cycle that started with Joel, perpetuated with Abby, and now has rolled on to Ellie, all in the form of revenge. Joel's actions from Part 1 creating Abby's drive for revenge, and Abby's actions causing Ellie's drive for revenge. It's a cycle that obviously is bigger than me and my bedroom, but it's very relatable in a sense, and it's kind of comforting knowing that sort of these larger than life characters can sort of go through these thematic events similar to what you in your own life can do. If The Last of Us Part 1 was a story that caused this cycle, then Part 2 is the story that shows what happens when the cycle is perpetuated and what it really takes to end it. And it's that sort of notion of ending it being what really sort of sold me on what the ending was and really justified Part 2's existence. It's this notion of ending the cycle that really sort of drives me, it inspires me. It's a thought that, you know, if these characters can overcome this overwhelming cycle of violence and revenge and to break out of that, it's kind of empowering in a way, and it just, I guess it motivates me to sort of break out of my own monotonous cycle. You know, if these characters can stop killing each other, then surely I could do something different. Then yeah, at first I really did want to critique Part 2's ending, and I was gonna go on so many points about how, you know, it should have ended at the island, it should have done this and that, it should have there's so many ways that I thought that it should have ended, things that I thought should have been done differently for it to convey its point stronger. But sort of thinking about it now, maybe it doesn't need to be changed. Maybe it's me who has changed. I've had these thoughts for over a year about how I would have changed the ending. I had so many thoughts, so many ideas, and going through what we've all been through is just, it's such a rare case. It's like literally I've gone through the character arc and the story hasn't changed at all, but the way that I've changed is has sort of affected how I view the story, and god damn, I appreciate it a lot more, and I think that people could go around appreciating it a bit more too. God, what even is this video? I literally had so many plans about talking about where the story could have gone, how it could have ended at the island, how the two different factions could have resolved their plot lines into a single bow with the concurrent plot lines of Abby and Ellie and their whole shtibacle. But man, it's just thinking about it now, it's a lot bigger than that, and I don't even think the devs ever intended for the story to sort of be, I guess, viewed in this way. Yeah, it's really just by circumstance that this sort of new interpretation, this new meaning has sort of formed. It's an interpretation that I don't think most people will really think about, and it's kind of one that I've only been able to think of just by hitting record and seeing what came out of my mouth. But yeah, it's a different kind of story. It's The Last of Us Part 2.